Good. Closer to the end of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, we see Palpatine defeat the 4 Jedi Masters who came to arrest him, after which he ordered the execution of Order 66, wiping out all the Jedi with the help of Anakin Skywalker, now turned Darth Vader. But what if that never happened? What if Anakin would have listened to Mace Windu? Well, let's find out. Right after Anakin Skywalker arrives to the Chancellor's office, we see him get convinced by Palpatine that the Jedi will execute him. In the real story, it does work on him and he chops off Windu's hand. But let's say he obeyed or never came to the office, or better, only was about to notify Windu about it. What would have happened? What could have been done? There would be 2 options to go with to make this plan work. 1. They would have to execute Order 5, which states that, in the event of the Supreme Chancellor being declared unfit to issue orders, as defined in Section 6, the Chief of the Defense Staff shall assume Grand Army of the Republic command and form strategic cell of senior officers until a successor is appointed or alternative authority identified, meaning that the Senate would normally vote and replace him to keep good hands and control of the government. Number 2. Or they would execute Order 65, which states that in the event of either a majority in the Senate declaring the Supreme Commander to be unfit to issue orders, or the Security Council declaring him or her to be unfit to issue orders, and an authenticated order being received by the Grand Army of the Republic, commanders shall be authorized to detain the Supreme Commander with use of force if necessary, and the command of the Grand Army of the Republic shall fall to the acting Chancellor until a successor is appointed or alternative authority identified as outlined in Section 6, meaning that if found to be chaotic or making specific decisions that endanger the Republic or is hurting it with his or her actions, the army will arrest him and he will be replaced. If the Jedi were to use Order 5, it simply wouldn't work. Why? Well, at the time of Palpatine's rule as Chancellor of the Republic, he was very well supported in both the Senate and the public. Most loved him and considered him a good leader. Using this would most likely spark a hate of the public towards the Jedi. While if Order 65 was to be issued, it would have been to be proven to the Security Councils that his actions are for the worst. But since the Sith are a long forgotten group by the general public, and since there is no Sith officially, the Republic simply doesn't recognize them as enemies after long times, since the old Republic times. So Order 65 would instead trigger suspicion of the Jedi Order, thinking that they want to really overthrow a Chancellor, and this would give more reason to trigger Order 66. In the end, there is no way out of this situation politically and as human as possibly without conflict. If the Jedi were to stop Palpatine, they would need to have Anakin convinced that killing the Chancellor is for the best, but we all know that that didn't play out really well. And now we know why normal ways to get Palpatine out of the Senate and stop Order 66 would not work. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I shall see you. Somebody